To accomplish an objective, you need a smart action plan, which lists down all the activities in a time-bound manner to help you to achieve your objectives easily. But to know how you're doing, you need to keep track of your progress. Monitoring the action is the most important part of the plan. If you do not monitor, you will not know if your efforts are going in the right direction. Planning is nothing but turning your vision into reality. So, what is the best way to avoid issues and roadblocks while carrying out an action as per the plan? Hi, my name is Shyam Rao. I am founder and promoter of eOnlineverse, a leading global training solution organization. With over 30 years of industry experience, I had an opportunity to coach, lead several cross-functional, cross-geography leaders for companies across the globe. I have spoken in more than 500 seminars with over 2 million listeners across 25 countries. It is an immense pleasure to be with you today to share my knowledge and experience. The action plan is a strategy for action. It is a document that outlines what needs to be done in a timely fashion, including the task of the team. Hence, it is important to have a system that allows you to check what has been done and what still needs to be done. This means keeping tabs on what is happening on day-to-day basis to make sure everything is proceeding according to plan. Devising contingency plan to modify the action. Acting promptly when you spot something that is not going according to plan. Before we move forward, let us recap what we have discussed in session 4 on how to make a detailed plan. In that session, we discussed on why do you need a plan? Phase 1. Identify the purpose of a plan. Phase 2. What are the activities involved in preparing a plan? Phase 3. Timetable. Phase 4. Estimating cost. Phase 5. Prioritizing. Phase 6. Planning the action. Phase 7. Writing the plan. What question you need to ask yourself while preparing a plan? What you will be doing better for preparing plan? Moving on to current session. As part of the session, I'll share my experience to guide you on how to act as per the plan. What is an action plan? Why do you need an action plan? What are the best practices of writing an action plan? Coordinating activities, coping with contingencies, taking remedial action, keeping control. These sessions will include real-world examples and case studies that would help you to connect, visualize, and reflect upon. I am sure at the end of the session, you would be able to understand what an action plan and why you need an action plan. What are the best practices being adopted while creating an action plan? What it takes to coordinate various activities. You will understand how to cope with contingencies and how to take remedial actions, and would also tell you how to have better control over your plan. What is an action plan? An action plan is a strategy to identify the necessary steps towards a goal. Action plan is a checklist for the steps of the task you need to complete to achieve the goals you have set. It is an essential part of the planning process. Action plans are used for preparing an implementation strategy to achieve goals. Components of an action plan include a well-defined description of the goal to be achieved, steps that needs to be carried out to reach goals, people who will oversee carrying out each task, when will this task be completed, resources needed to complete the task, Measure to evaluate progress. An action plan is ever evolving document because as the need and circumstances changes, you will have to revisit and adjust the action plan strategy to meet the current needs. Why do you need an action plan? An action plan helps you to prepare for the obstacles ahead and keep you on track. With an effective action plan, you can boost productivity and keep yourself focused. The benefits of action plan are it gives a clear direction because it tells you what and when to do the task. It will give you reasons to stay motivated and committed throughout. With an action plan, you can track your progress towards your goal. It will help to prioritize your tasks based on effort and impact. What are the best practices of writing an action plan? There are several important steps you need to follow with a caution to write an action plan. I strongly suggest you follow 7 steps while writing an action plan. Step 1. Define your end goal. First, write down your goal and run your goal through SMART criteria. Step 2. List down the steps to be followed. Create a list of all the tasks to be performed with their due dates and the team responsible. Make sure that each task is clearly defined and is attainable. If you come across a larger and more complex task, break them down into smaller ones that are easier to execute and manage. Step 3. Prioritize tasks and add deadlines. It is important to prioritize a task and make sure that they are realistic. Consult with the person responsible for carrying it out for a better understanding of his or her capacity. Step 4. Set milestones. Start from end goal and work backwards as you set the milestones. Remember not to keep too little or too much of time in between the milestones you set. It is a best practice to space the milestone for 2 weeks apart. Step 5. Identify the resources needed. It is crucial to ensure that you have all the necessary resources at hand to complete the task. If they are not currently available, you need to first plan to acquire them. Step 6. Communicate your action plan. It is important to create an action plan that everyone can understand at a glance. It does not matter how you shape it. It could be in form of flowchart, Gantt chart, or a table. Make sure that it is communicated to all the task owners about task deadlines. Step 7. Monitor, evaluate and update. Allocate some time to evaluate the progress. You can mark the tasks that are completed as done. Bring attention to everyone how you have progressed towards the goal. This also brings out the tasks that are delayed and the reasons for the delay. And it will also help you to find suitable solution for the same. Coordinating activities. You need to map your actions to check your progress. Planner needs to log activities that shows the various tasks, their duration and completion dates. It will be easier to track the progress if you have simple visual tracking system. Mark important dates with a distinctive identifier to remind you. For example, this travel agency activities could be complete the invitation list by 25th November. Color leaflet for the cruise promotion to be ready by 15th December. Confirm venue for 31st January. Coping with contingencies. Making plan is one thing, ensuring they work out as planned is another. Things can happen which are not under your control. To combat unforeseen problems, you need to build a certain amount of flexibility on your schedules. Make provision to cope with emergencies. For example, the travel agency may face unexpected increase in the price of wine, which results in spending more. Similarly, the preferred venue for the promotion could prove to be fully booked for the unforeseeable future. This means an alternative location must be found. In this situation, there is a need to ensure that some form of contingency plans exist. Otherwise, when something drastic occurs, there is a temptation to give up the plan altogether, rather than to adopt to suit the changes of circumstances. Many factors may not directly affect the plan or influence how the plan progresses, but it is vital to be flexible enough to change and amend the plan when circumstances dictate. Taking remedial action. If you find your progress not as good as you are aiming for, you need to take remedial action very promptly. For example, the travel agency found out that there's only few clients in the area went on cruise in the last 2 years. Given this scenario, you need to analyze, is this the best product to promote? At the time doing this research, it becomes apparent that there is a huge market for family holidays. For various aspects of your plan, it may be necessary to go back to drawing board because what seems to be fruitful course of action did not work out as planned. Keeping control. For planning to be effective, controlling progress must be an integral part of the process. You need to ensure that you know how things are progressing. It is a vital component in keeping your plan on track. To track the progress, you require a system to keep control of the progress. I suggest certain steps to help you to be in control of the activities at all times. Step 1. Evaluate. Whichever activity you are about to perform, you always need to evaluate all the components and their outputs from the day one. You need to get under the hood and get the feel for everything that is happening. You need to ask the right questions and use reports and metrics as a basis for all your decisions. Step 2. Plan. Based on your evaluation, you need to plan your activities. You need to anticipate where things are going and what you can do to avoid potential problems. Step 3. React. Before you implement the changes, you also need to understand what are the impacts of these changes have on business and what are the benefits of these changes. Then you also need to include stakeholders' feedback on changes. Step 4. Connect. Since you are the point of contact for the team and the stakeholders, you need to communicate with all the concerned people so that everyone is on the same page. Do follow meeting with all the concerned so that all the information is communicated and nothing is left unsaid. What questions you need to ask yourself while carrying out the action plan? Before you create an action plan, you need to ask yourself certain questions about how to keep the action plan moving in the right direction. Do I have a system for keeping tabs on my plans? Am I keeping within the timelines and financial limits I set? Have I worked out how I could deal with delays or unforeseen problems? Do I know if things are going according to plan? What you will be doing better for carrying out action plan? It is also important for you to understand what you could do better if you check your actions against your plans. You use your systems to keep track of progress. You stay within your budget. You allow enough time in your timetable. You think about how you might cope up with contingencies. You can see how the plan is progressing. Let me share a case study of a leading travel agency in Switzerland. This agency was looking at us to identify an alternative source of income. This agency's primary source of revenue was through retail outlets, and their customers were also using these outlets for their queries through phone calls, fax, and emails. We realized that being the only one revenue model, which led to decrease in revenue and market share. We analyzed the situation and recommended a roadmap to plug the gap, and also identified an alternative source of revenue. To address this challenge, we recommended implementing online travel products and services to customers through websites and contact centers. I deployed a team to evaluate the potential of online channel. We prepared a detailed action plan with our recommendations. Once our action plan was implemented, the customer business performance improved with an increase in income revenue by 26%, enhancement of sale conversion rate to 21%, created a strong top-line business impact, and enabled the agency to outperform the competitors. Before I end this session, let me summarize what I have spoken in this session. Just because you have committed your plan on paper does not mean it will happen. Managing and monitoring the plan requires your continuous attention. You need to be clear about what must be done to achieve the set objectives. At the same time, you should also know how to coordinate activities that are must to achieve. If you anticipate problems before they arise, you will be going a long way to making sure that things are staying on track. Taking immediate remedial action is the key if things do not go as planned. Implementing the plan requires constant effort, vigilance, and commitment. While carrying out the plan, you need to remind yourself from time to time of your objectives. Thanks for watching this video. Please share your thoughts and comments. I look forward to meeting you in our sixth and the last session about measuring success.
If you like this video, please do not forget to press the like button, hit subscribe and notification button, and also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn and Twitter to get the latest updates on our eOnline Verse channel.